Hi, welcome to today's Ask Lattice. We have Louis in the house and we're going to be going through a load of questions that everyone out there on Instagram has been working today. And you've been working through lots of different questions around climbing, training, and actually quite a few random things. So we've got some interesting stuff to go through today.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Ready to start the top?
Yeah, okay, let's go.
Okay, first one is from, and I'm going to have to use everyone's Instagram handle, so some slightly unusual names.
Okay.
This one's Ruin Margalef. I hope they don't
That's
ruin...
probably his name.
I hope they don't ruin Margalef. Unless it's an unusual first name, in which I apologise. Strength and power in the same session. Would you do it?
Embarrassingly, I'm not entirely sure of the difference. I would be careful to train different types of strength. Okay, no, I kind of see what he means. So I wouldn't train various different kinds of arm strength. Like if I'm doing explosive power, I wouldn't in the same session do like slow one-arm pull-ups or things like that.
Yeah.
But I might train different areas of strength in the same session. Like I might do like jumping catches and hold bad handholds, but not do anything particularly engaging on the arms, and then follow that up by doing a load of pull-ups on jugs. But I think, as we talked about in another interview, I don't focus too much on structuring stuff. I get vaguely tired by the end of a session. I try and do a load of variety. So I guess, yes, Ruin Margalef. I do end up doing strength and power in the same session. That seems like what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it also sounds like you have an understanding that there's certain things that you...
I think you're going to say it sounds like you haven't got any understanding of what you're doing.
No, I think you're really good with your intuition of the training.
Let's say that. That's nice.
Yeah.
He's got more faith in me than I do. Okay, next question.
Yeah, so next one is from Guy Dawson, and he asked, what do you see other people down the wall doing that you often go, ooh, I wish they wouldn't do that. That doesn't seem like a great idea.
Okay.
Put your coaching hat on here.
So all of this is just hindsight, by the way, because anytime I see someone doing something at the climbing centre going, oh, that's a bad idea, I know it's a bad idea because I've done it in the past. So not warming up. Big one for me, which I'm really passionate about in my coaching sessions, is not just going too quickly and rushing their warm-up climbs and not really paying attention to what they're doing. For me, that was just repeatedly ingraining bad habits in my climbing, had no idea I was doing it, and then it took ages to fix. So either not warming up at all or rushing their warm-up. Or the other one is just spending way too much time training strength and not enough time actually climbing and learning to apply that strength. Those would be the main three.
Okay,
those
that's
quite
cool.
Yeah, that was nice and clear cut. I thought I was going to have either nothing or an infinite amount.
Yeah.
So cool, there we
Perfect.
go.
Well, I hope that's helpful. Okay, next one is from Piotr, who has asked, what is your perfect, or what would you do on a moon board for a power session?
Ooh.
Like total all-out power on a moon board.
So I've done a few of these sessions and I usually really like them, where I just do as many moon board problems as I can and I'll alternate with another exercise. So instead of resting in between the moon board problems, I'm just doing another kind of work. So either really nice process to go through is if I finish, I'll have maximum 3 attempts at a climb. If I don't finish it, I'll do a little set of push-ups. If I do finish it, I do 1 push-up per grade of the climb, or minimum of 5 push-ups, whichever is more. And I'll just keep going for hours and hours, because although push-ups are tiring, it's not the same type of like you don't use those muscles on the moon board, so you can just stay nice and healthy doing some push-ups and carry on working doing harder stuff on the moon board. Other one I did was alternating between moon board problems and sets of deadlifts, which
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't no particular reason other than I wanted to do some deadlifts, and the deadlift rack at the climbing centre I was at is right next to the moon board.
Oh, so you don't have a massive barbell on the floor next to the moon board?
No. I wasn't doing it like underneath the moon board. It was like it was nearby.
Yeah.
But interesting one I found is I ended up doing actually some really hard moon board problems in between the deadlift sets, because I was trying really, really hard and like engaging a lot of grip strength, picking up the heavy thing, and the try hard and grip strength then went quite nicely on the moon board too. So
yeah, I think that works all really well as well in
Yeah.
terms of deadlifting being an exercise that will really heavily work on the core.
Yeah,
A lot of
definitely.
people always think of the core as just being like your abs,
Yeah.
but in fact it's your entire trunk.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's a nice little, I mean, it's a very advanced way of training for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that for everybody, by the way. Yeah, I think for me, if you're on the moon board, it's all going to be powerful moves. So trying to get a decent amount of volume is quite nice. I try to also vary the type of problem, so I won't always do really crimpy ones. I'll alternate between like some pinchy ones. There's not that many slopers on the moon board, but not just always on the same types of hold. And other than that, just doing a lot of it.
Okay, nice one. Okay, next question is from Red Dog. This one's a good one. I kind of actually wondered this half myself before. It's pretty obvious that you have a good spectacle setup, situation. You're well known for them. I think I've even seen T-shirts with spectacles on it.
Quite possibly.
Has there ever been a spectacle error, calamity? Has anything gone wrong with them?
Surprisingly rarely, actually. Because mostly, I mean, I didn't always used to wear glasses. I climbed without glasses, having not realised that my vision wasn't that great for like 10 years or so. So I've only been wearing them for the last few years. So if they ever do just fall off midway through a climb, it's fine. I'm not blind. I can still see. Only one I had that was actually resulted in me not finishing a climb was, I think I went for a hand move and like I nailed the hand move, but in the process knocked my glasses down to there, and then I couldn't get them off my face, and I had no way of putting them back on again, and it just completely messed up my vision. So I just completely missed the next hold after that. So yeah, just the one, but it was an annoying one.
So you're kind of like looking through one eye with the glass, and then the other one was over the top.
Yeah, it was like I could kind of see through one, but it was all skewed. So yeah.
Was that in a competition?
No, it wasn't in a competition, thankfully.
That'd be brilliant.
But I might think about like just like sellotaping them to my face or something for a comp.
Yeah, all those sports, bands around the
A
back.
bit dorky. Climbing's about looking good. I don't want to have one of those.
I don't know. I think climbing may be looking good in London, but in Sheffield.
Sometimes it's about climbing hard stuff and not having your glasses fall off halfway through. Yeah, it can be about that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, another good question in the same kind of vein from Pierre Point has asked, favourite cheese?
We talked about this. I think halloumi for me. It's nice and versatile. You can have it in a wrap, you can have it in a burger, you can have it plain. It sounds less versatile now I think of my recipes with halloumi. Halloumi's nice.
On a
flavour.
barbecue?
On a barbecue, there we go. That's 3 ways you can have halloumi.
Or in the bin?
Or in the bin, if you run out of options to cook it. Yeah, there we go.
If you don't like it.
No.
Okay, back to climbing.
All right.
Off the cheese topics, was Reggie asked, what took you from the 7A level, so font 7A was around V6, and kind of catapulted you into that next grade bracket of, font 7B plus 7C? Were there any particular practices or habits that took you there?
Okay, so I think I did definitely have a point in my climbing where my progress suddenly accelerated. But I was, I guess, in a way lucky that I managed to get past the point of 7A just relying on brute force and flailing. But after that point, when I was sort of getting some 7Bs done, but not that regularly, started focusing entirely on, not going to focus on strength, just going to focus on, we talked about it earlier, people rushing their warm-up climbs a little bit too much. Just really simple switch of, I'm going to go really slow in my warm-up, I'm going to focus on doing everything really nicely, slowly, not that slowly, that quite quickly started translating into being more efficient and not cutting loose the whole time. And that was the point where I suddenly started actually finishing climbs and not doing a few hard moves, doing a really hard cut loose move, and then powering up before I got to the end. So I guess practicing not cutting loose at all when I'm in practice, and then allowing myself to cut loose if I need to, but doing it far less out of habit nowadays.
Yeah.
So yeah, more focus on mindful practice, less focus on just claw my way to the top every single time.
And roughly what, if you don't mind asking, was what, how many years have you been climbing when you went through that 7A barrier into the next category? I'm always kind of interested how quickly people move through those mid-grades.
Okay, so my theory is that there is always a point where someone feels like they plateau at a certain grade. Varies for different climbers. Most people, it seems to be about, at least from the requests I have for coaching, mostly people will say, I feel like I'm plateauing at about the V4, V5. I guess, getting on the 7A level. That seems to be the common one. My theory is that for most people, they're getting up to that level either, in my case, with just brute force and not much technique.
And how many years was that after?
Oh, for me, like 7 or 8 years. Not particularly quick progression for me. Or for other people, they're getting to that point without much strength, but with really great technique. And then you get to a certain level where it's, no, you need to be strong and have decent technique, and it needs to work together at the same time. And that can be quite a big barrier to suddenly have all of that work to do. So for me, it was, like I say, not relying on strength and focusing on getting my technique in line. For other people, it's the opposite, where they say, oh, I started fingerboarding, and suddenly with all this extra strength, then I could actually start doing some harder climbs. But I don't know if you think the same thing. For me, it's just that, you need to be able to do both of them and also be able to concentrate while you're doing that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's climbing for you. There's so many different elements that come into it. It's technique, it's strength, it's fitness, it's mental game, it's approach, motivation, consistency.
Yeah.
And that's why, you and me do a lot of work with people, is because ultimately climbing is quite a complex thing. And so it's not always easy to come up with an unbiased, objective view on where you are personally at the moment. So you end up going to a professional or someone who's more experienced than you that can help guide you into a couple of key areas, and then you get to work on it.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, 2 more questions.
Okay.
We have, next up from Gigabyte is, actually, you'll like this one.
Oh.
What is your favourite climbing game?
Ooh.
Number 1, you've got to go for just one.
Okay, it's a game, but it's also a drill that I do a lot of. I find it really fun. When I show it to people, they often find it really frustrating at first. Then it gets really addictive.
Yeah.
Just a simple game of one touch only, and that's all it is. You just go around climbing stuff. If you hit a hole badly and you try and fix it, you start the climb again. You just start being a lot more precise on everything. You start overall being more efficient. And it's really, really fun because it suddenly makes climbs that were really easy before, when you could hit the wrong bit and then shuffle around and go, okay, there's the good bit, and carry on. Suddenly you're like thinking really carefully all the way through everything. It's a good game. So not everyone finds it fun. I find it really, really fun. It's just a really simple one. But mostly I like it because it is fun and has huge benefits to my climbing all the way through. I like that one.
And it's an in-the-process learning thing.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you're going to get immediate feedback.
Yeah.
If you get something slightly wrong, you'll notice it in the game. And
exactly.
over time, that'll improve you.
There we go.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, last one is from, and I have no way at all of pronouncing this name because it's RXB. Ruxp. And I'm going to transfer your question about fingerboarding slightly more to climbing specific, because Louis doesn't do lots of fingerboarding, and ask you directly, what do you think is most useful, working on small holds on flatter terrain or larger holds on steep terrain?
I think that entirely depends on who the climber is and what their goals are. If they're already really, really good, like if you'd asked me that, if you'd asked someone who was coaching me, I suppose, what should Louis work on, like 5 years ago? Should he work on small holds on delicate moves, or big holds on steep terrain? I hope they would have said he shouldn't do any more big holds on steep stuff. He's got the hang of that now. Unless my entire focus was, I'm not interested in doing any delicate moves. I just want to be really, really good at big, smashy moves. It depends on what you're good at already and what you want to do, really, I suppose. If you're already good at big holds, big moves, then focus more on doing small holds, delicate moves, and vice versa, I suppose.
Yeah, and that answer to me also really classifies how much I think about climbing and training and approaching the way you progress, is that there is no secret answer. There's no, you can only use small holds and big feet or some kind of rule, because everyone seems to want to apply a rule to things. But the reality is that do lots of them and address the things that you aren't quite as good at and be purposeful about it, and suddenly you make improvements.
Yeah. So I don't know about you, but I find when I'm coaching, I find it really difficult to ever give a straight answer. Just because climbing it's really creative and it varies the whole time.
We sound evasive, don't we?
Yeah, I know, but then they say, so like if they've just started climbing, they're like, I heard I should keep my arms straight. Is that right? And I'm like, a lot of the time, yes. A lot of the time, absolutely not. Okay, and then we end up going into a lot of detail of, so this is how it might help, this is how it's worse. A lot of the time when I'm talking about my specific beta on a climb, I'll usually wrap it up going, just to be clear, I'm not saying this is the way to do it, this is easiest. I'm saying here are the things that I've considered. These are the things that I may be compensating on. That's the decision I chose to make, and it feels okay to me. You should consider all that stuff for yourself, and you make a decision. It might be a different decision to me, but it's quite nice having that variety in climbing.
Yeah, very typical. Yeah. Okay, so that wraps it up for today. I hope you've enjoyed all of listening to all the questions and the answers from Louis. And don't forget that if you have further questions, we are really actively engaged on our Facebook community page, on Instagram. You can go and follow Louis on his Instagram page, Captain Cut Loose, is that right?
Captain Cut Loose.
Cutting loose less now.
Captain still cuts loose, but not as frequently. But still, it's what people want to see.
Yeah. And don't forget to click to like and subscribe on the YouTube channel if you'd like to see more content. And we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Bye.